Good Wednesday, everybody. And just like that, this is The Daily Show. I'm Russ Kane, what's left of him. And welcome to Men's Radio Station. I did a pre-record first thing this morning. I'm going to play it out to you. I can't play it out today, but I'll be playing it out to you in the very, very near future with a professor. So anybody who's got like professor in front of their name, I'm all over it like a rash, right? And it was all about testosterone and lack of testosterone in men. I had no idea. Absolutely fascinating. An amazing interview. What an amazing fellow. Of course, I walked right into it. I made a terrible mistake. He's from TED Health, TED. I'm assuming, right, that it's an offshoot of TED Talks. Nothing to do with that at all. So we're going to get some of them on the show a little bit later, and we'll see how it all goes. Right, how you all doing? Everybody okay today? Everybody all right? You're feeling good? Yeah. I had a bit of a problem in Tesco yesterday. I'll be absolutely honest. A bit of a problem in Tesco yesterday. It was a lady, and she didn't look in the best of health. She was a little bit, she had these heavy bags and lots of shopping. And she said, "Excuse me, young man." I bought that straight off, right? And she said, "Excuse me, where? Oh, that's weird. I haven't done something from Neil." Said, "Where is the least of the? I want to pay for my shopping. Where's the least length?" And I looked up and down in Tesco's. And I went, "Oh, fuck you." She slapped me. Thank you. I'm here all week. Neil, check your emails. Check your emails, for goodness sake. Should be there. Don't know why. Anyway, here we go. Don't know what's happening. What was I going to say? Yeah. Sunny today for the first time. Does that make you feel better? It makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel like I'm not going to get absolutely soaked when I walk the dog. Okay, Dave Sleek, one and all. Hope you're having the best week you can be. Greetings, one and all. Hope you're having the best week you can be. Don't know what that means. I mean, the best that we can be in a week. And, oh dear. Good morning from cold, wet New York. So good they named it once. And from New York, we dash across to Houston. Good morning. Good morning. How come the Americ? That's it. And then we never heard from her again. We'll never know. A mystery worthy of Hercule Poirot. And Liz Saul, hello, I'm listening with one ear. What's the matter with you, for God's sake? You want to be like Captain Kirk. He wants to listen with his left ear, right ear, and his final front ear. Let's bring on our first guest. I don't know where Neil is. Hello, Sean.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right, fella. How are you? More to the point.
I'm good. I'm in Cork at the moment for a film festival.
You look like someone's locked you inside a big fridge.
That's pretty much the vibe. I'm in a hotel in Cork. Yeah, I'm here for a film festival. So,
yeah, are you in the lift? What? We got this steel door. I'm expecting the lift doors to open and go, "Excuse me, mate, can we get in?"
Hotel room door. I didn't want you to see the bed. I know it's not that kind of show, So,
well, it's not to be honest with you. I mean, we've only just met. It's a charming thought, but I'm going to pass if you don't mind. Okay. Let's dash across. We've got Julie Voice in Houston. Then we got Emma Webb. Good afternoon from the country of Hampshire. Okay, there we are. Now, tell us all about yourself. This is a film thing. This is a film festival. That's why I wanted you, because you've been booked for like weeks.
Yeah, so I'm Sean Dunn, and I'm a film director. I'm working with Anna Rogers at the moment on a documentary piece that's about HIV disclosure. So we're bringing the
Say that again slowly. You're working on a documentary piece about
HIV disclosure.
Oh, HIV disclosure. Right. Didn't get the disclosure. Yeah. Okie dokie.
So that's where people tell other people about the fact that they have HIV. Right. And the film was made over 2 years in Ireland, and we're bringing it to London this Friday.
Oh, good for you. Where's it going to be shown?
It's going to play in the Riverside Studios, which is in Hammersmith at 8 o'clock as part of London Irish Film Festival.
Whoa. Riverside Studios. Now, wait a minute. That's near Oh, I know that. Isn't that that used to be? There is a theatre there, isn't there? Am I
There
right?
is a yeah. There's lots of stuff in Hammersmith. We're
There's a
traveling over, so we don't know the area. You know the area better than we would. We're traveling over.
no, I don't. No, I don't. So why did you tell us the background? Why did you do this? Why did you want to do it? Where's Anna Rogers, by the way?
Yeah,
Still
she's on the
asleep.
way. I wasn't
On
expecting it
the
to be it so
way.
quickly.
On the
We
way.
were told 5 past, in fairness.
Listen, Sonny Jim. We run a tight ship here.
Tight ship here. It's live.
Yep, right. It's got to be boom, 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 boom. We're on it. We're on it. We're on it.
I hear you. I
Right.
hear you.
So come on. So why did you decide to do this? And what's the background? How did you get
Yeah.
it going?
So the film is actually adapted from a documentary theatre project that I made that I was working on from 2016, which
Right.
was dealing with testimonies from people, I suppose, who maybe weren't happy or didn't feel comfortable to represent themselves visibly before, their community. So it started very gently with a friend of mine is living with HIV. His name is Robbie Lawler, and he was doing a lot of peer support work. So he was meeting up with people one on one. And
Can I interject? And
go
don't
ahead.
take offense because it's not that sort of show, but we just talk honestly. HIV, which obviously exploded in a horrendous way in the 80s, I thought, in my ignorance, okay, and I'm just saying to you, Sean, that I am ignorant about it. I thought it was pretty much under control. Is that the case these days?
HIV is a very manageable condition today, thankfully. So when you're on effective treatment, for example, if you know about your HIV status, it's virtually impossible for you to pass the virus on to a partner, which is
Right.
really, really great news. And there's lots of brilliant news for people who are living with HIV today. Medication in lots of places, for example, in the areas that we're talking about in the UK and in Ireland, it's very accessible, which is great. But unfortunately, there's still a lot of stigma around living with HIV. So a lot of people still feel.
In what way?
I suppose in our film, for example, we worked a lot with many, women who are mothers who didn't feel like they would be accepted by their communities, who feel like they're still under this pressure to keep a secret about their HIV. So our
Gosh.
film really is
And is
about.
that a particularly kind of an Irish thing because it comes, back from,
Well,
the shame of and Catholicism and all of that, or is that just general?
I mean, I think it's general. I spent, many years living in London myself, and I'm a gay man, so I was encountering lots of like gay men in London, and there's still a lot of stigma and shame for them as well. I think it's changing.
Really? In London?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. From my experience,
Bloody hell. Did you not hang out in Old Compton Street and wander around Soho when you I'm like
of course I did. Yeah,
I'm
but
like
I
the
mean,
only straight bloke wandering around the streets there.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about being straight or gay. It's about, I suppose, your comfort with like disclosing that you're living with the virus. So,
Right.
but as I was saying there, it is extremely manageable, and it's a really like Robbie, who we work with, says this is the golden era for people living with HIV because it is so manageable, and when you're on effective treatment, you can't pass it on. But the film, I suppose, is looking at that stigma piece, and we've been touring the film around. We went to Norway with it recently. We were in Austin with it there a couple of months, and we found that a lot of the conversation we were having around the work was actually quite similar to the one that we're having in Ireland, and we didn't really feel like there's a massive disconnect, or that it's a particularly Irish problem. I mean, yeah, we're in Ireland, so we have a specific context, but I think it pervades in most
But
places.
I get that there is. I can kind of understand why it's a stigma, but you've obviously worked in it. Break it down. Why are people still feeling stigmatized for what is a virus, an illness? Why
I
is
think,
that?
I think because there's still a lot of misinformation, and I think people don't understand the full story. So I think people are feeling stigmatized because they're encountering a lot of ignorance sometimes. They're hearing people say things that are hurtful, and they're having bad experiences. Like when you come to see the film, we represent those experiences of disclosure that go wrong. And
Well,
sometimes
better
I feel like
late than never. Better late than never. Although we don't know. Neil, there's nothing I can do at the moment. I've only got one pair of hands, fella. I don't know how else to do it. Anna, welcome.
Hi there. Thanks for
Where have you
having
been?
me.
Where have you
I
been? Do you have
have
do you, no? Do you have a note?
no note from the teacher.
You
I'm
don't have a note.
sorry.
Go and stand in the corner, please, because Sean has been carrying all of this.
Technical problems, I'm getting old, I think.
You want to swap? You want to swap?
Sure,
About
definitely.
really? Would you like to swap, Anna? About getting old? You're welcome. It's a one-time offer. I'm happy to do like a body swap, and then I'm going to have another 50 years. It's going to be brilliant. Now, what's the deal with you and you and Sean? You're both filmmakers, or you came together on the project, or how's it all work?
Yeah, well, I actually went along to see Sean's play in a theatre called The Project in Dublin.
Right.
And I loved it. It really blew me away. And I was really struck by, I suppose, how real the performances
What's
were.
the play about? I'm taking it's not a musical comedy.
It wasn't. No, it was a play called Rapids, and
Rapids,
and it was about HIV disclosure. Sean could tell you more about it, really, but the play is what.
Well, you're here now, Anna. We might as well hear from you. I mean, you've graced us with your presence. The least we could do. I always think I'm thinking. I said to Sean, either he's doing this from the inside of a lift, or somebody in his hotel has shut him in the giant industrial kitchen.
Where are you, Sean? Are you trapped? Are you okay? Do you need help?
Yeah, I was telling him just before you got here. I'm in the hotel in Cork. Yeah, so this is the best. I didn't want to show off the bed, Annie. You know yourself.
Oh, I know. You
Oh
can't
no, we like that. We love having glimpses
accommodation
into everybody else's lifestyle and room, and then we do critiques, and then it doesn't matter. We're just kidding.
But yeah, getting back to it, I saw Sean's play, and then we had a coffee afterwards, and we talked about translating it into a hybrid documentary. So a documentary that kind of pushes the boundaries of reality and brings in drama into it. So I suppose in that way, we kind of merged our artistic practices. Sean coming from a theatre background, but also film, and me more coming from a documentary making background.
Right.
Yeah. So it's all about HIV and telling people you're HIV positive.
Right. And Sean was saying there's still a big stigma surrounding that people are, and I'm just trying to kind of dig down a little bit, people either embarrassed, or I'm going to use the word ashamed, or feel guilty. It's an illness. It's a virus. You don't feel embarrassed if you got the flu or COVID, or you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And I suppose.
Am I oversimplifying it? Sure.
No,
am I oversimplifying it in my kind of stupid way, which I kind of break things down like that,
I don't think you're oversimplifying. I agree with you that we should approach it through that lens 100%. But I think the lived experience of some people is a little bit more complicated, and you have to walk in their shoes really to understand.
Oh no, totally. Which is why I'm asking you, because you've told us you're gay. You've obviously got gay friends. You've got somebody who's got HIV. Is it that I'm just going to, because we're 100% live and we're 100% uncensored, so I don't kind of pussyfoot around and avoid the eggshells. Is it that after 20 plus years of being told, wear protection, be careful, etc., and you will avoid getting HIV, is it that they think people are going to say, oh, they didn't listen to any of the advice which we've been given for 20 plus years?
I don't think that's realistic. Everybody has unprotected sex at some point in their life. I mean, it's very, very common to happen, and it's kind of a part of normal life, and a normal part of being sexual and being in the world. You can get HIV on the first sexual encounter you have, or the 50th. So it's not about how many partners you've had or anything like that. But I think some of the stigma that's kind of lingering is because of attitudes to sex and sexuality that still, especially in Ireland, I suppose, we don't really talk about it enough, and we don't have proper sex education in schools, and people really haven't come to terms.
Is Ireland, Anna, is Ireland sort of behind the times? I'm going to say behind the times a little bit.
I don't think we're behind the times. I mean, we've changed hugely in the last kind of 10 years in particular. We brought in marriage equality in 2015, 2014. I'm trying to remember what date it was. And we, repealed the 8th, which meant we gave women reproductive rights, abortion rights. So we're changing into a more secular society, I think.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that everything changes overnight, And what we've found when we've traveled with this film, we've been to Norway with it, we've been to Austin, Texas with it, and we've spoken to people.
Why did you go to Austin? It's just that my son lives there.
Oh,
Why
really?
did you? Yeah. He emigrated with the family, and I'm extremely jealous because every time it's piddling down with rain here in London, he goes, "Hey, Dad," and he shows me a picture of clear blue skies.
So
and
hot.
It's like,
you don't want to be that hot, I don't think. It's extremely hot there. I think
it looks
40 degrees.
gorgeous. I can't wait to go. But what was going on in Austin, Sean?
Yeah,
What was going on there?
Yeah, we were there with the kind of international premiere of the work. So we went to a film festival called Aglyph, and we were there to present the work. So the film festival were interested in what we were doing. They were interested in the Irish context and bringing a film that was looking at HIV disclosure in a contemporary way. So we traveled with the film specifically. That's why we were there, and we were roasting. It was way too hot, like Anna said.
It's crazy hot there. Tell me something. Austin is in Texas. Texas is pretty, marpa, apple pies, and shotguns, which is probably why I want to live there. But how was it received? As it's, I'm just curious how in that specific society, if you went to LA, went to San Francisco, that'd make you mayor of the town. But in Texas, it's pretty hardcore.
Austin kind of isn't Texas. I mean, Austin is a bit of an anomaly in Texas. There's kind of like a catchphase, keep Austin weird. So anybody who lives.
My son will fit in perfectly.
Yeah, great.
I can assure you.
I think anyone who lives in Texas who really doesn't fit into that kind of Bible Belt mentality kind of tends to move to Austin. It's a big college town. And so it's very, cool to be gay there, and trans rights are upheld much better than other parts of Texas. But, there's still issues there. But I suppose the point we were making is that this stigma exists in places like San Francisco even. And when we showed the film in Oslo, somebody came from HIV Norway, which is equivalent of HIV Ireland organization there, and said that, none of their members would come to see the film because they didn't seen at a HIV film. Yeah.
They wouldn't come to see it because
of stigma. Because
they thought they'd go, oh, look, there's Sven. We didn't, they think they're going to point fingers at in the auditorium?
Well, this is why we made the film.
This is kind of weird. I don't get this.
To open it up.
It's called HIV Oslo. Oh, sorry, HIV Norway, and they won't turn up.
Well,
the organization. Some of the people who are living with HIV felt reticent around it. That's what she's discussing. Not so much. The organization came and was a representation. Mm-hmm. They invited, people that they're connected with, but there was still
came. So obviously the organization came.
Sure.
Their members
found it difficult. Yeah,
that's a pretty deep-rooted problem you got there. Let me put this up for you guys because I think you may like it. This is from Dave Sleet, who runs a wonderful organization called ANA Psychological Accreditation. And he's saying, Sean and Anna, I am sure ANA Psychological Accreditation, that's called APA, would love to engage with supporting the project.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So it's they're fantastic. They really, really are. And also from Dave Sleet, who's up in Fife in Scotland. A great subject, Sean. Awareness of the HIV reality today is so low. So congrats on raising the topic. From that thought, is there a feeling like, oh, that's so 80s?
I don't think so. I mean, I think things have moved on hugely since the 80s, but it's just getting that message out there. So if you're on effective medication now and you take your medication every day, you cannot pass HIV on to a partner. It's impossible. They've done huge studies on this. And so, I think it's just about people understanding more. And that's why we made the film. I suppose called How to Tell a Secret. And the film is about telling your story, and it's really, really powerful to tell your story in Ireland because of the various things we've been voting on in the referendums over the last few years. People came out and told their stories about abortion or came out and told their stories about being gay or lesbian or transgender. And the whole country changed because of that. And we're hoping, I suppose, with the film, it'll spark more discussion. And we're also capturing, it's not just about the film. There's something going on in Ireland right now. Like there are more and more people starting to come out and talk and share their stories. People have taken part in interviews in the newspaper or done online campaigns. So slowly, things are starting to change.
Sean's busy nodding in agreement there. You're going along with what Anna's saying, Sean?
Yeah, she said right. And I think that point of change that we're at is what's captured in our film. So we're really excited to share that change and that shift with audiences when we come to London this week.
If you look at Ireland as compared to, I don't know, the rest of Europe, let's just say, how many years would you think it is? I'm trying to read between the lines what you're both saying. How many years do you think it is behind?
I don't think Ireland is behind the rest of Europe.
You don't?
I think if this gets broadcast in Ireland, so there'll be like a big Twitter explosion of Irish people will reacting.
Well, no, you're saying that. Well, good luck. That's fine. I don't. By the way, I don't say all publicity is good publicity. When an idiot says that to me, I say tell that to Gary Glitter. So the thing is this: you're saying that there's been a big change in Ireland. So what I'm saying is that change happening after the rest of Europe?
No, I don't think so.
I don't.
So it's in parity. Okay. That's good. How long is the film? Is it a full length, short film? How long is it?
It's a feature film, yeah.
It's feature length. How did you get the funding?
So it's funded by the Arts Council of Ireland under a scheme called Real Arts. And because it's like an experimental documentary in a way that it blends documentary with drama, I think it's kind of unique in that way. And the Arts Council we're really lucky that we have a body like that who will put funding into a film of this kind.
Yeah.
You're up against blockbusters. We're about to release in the cinemas here in Ireland now on World AIDS Day. And, that is...
excellent.
Yeah, really
excellent.
cool. It's going to be all over the country. Even
and no one's wearing a cape or a mask or can fly, which is quite frankly... a refreshing change.
Yeah, anybody can come and see it. It's just going to be in the cinema, so there's no stigma attached with coming along and seeing it. You can come along, and whether you're HIV positive or not, you can just come as an ordinary punter and come and view it, maybe in your own locality. So that's a big...
There was a time that I was a consultant to the Department of Health. And oddly enough, it centered around a place that in another life I used to drive past every single morning. It was a blood transfusion center, gigantic, like the size of a shopping center. And the blood had got contaminated. And the blood had gone out into the general, populace, if you like. And people from all walks of life, unfortunately, were getting HIV because the blood had been contaminated. And that case... I think this must be 20 years on, 15 years on, or more. It's still rumbling on, as far as I know. It's never been resolved. And I felt terribly sorry for those people. You've gone in for a blood transfusion for whatever it might be. You may have had a car accident or something, and you end up with HIV. It was a shocking case. Horrible.
Yeah, very unfortunate for anyone who that happened to. And I suppose it's really important now they're on the radio and that people are listening. Like, it's also really
and watching. We can see you.
Yeah,
and
watching. I know, and I'm in my dungarees. I thought I was going on the radio, but it's really
well,
important.
You should read the instructions, Anna. You should read the instructions. They're very clear.
That's true. There's no good HIV or bad HIV. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't.
People who I suppose have HIV from something like a blood transfusion back then when that happened, which also happened in Ireland too, or somebody who maybe have HIV because of casual sexual encounter. There's no shame and there's no blame, and it's okay, and I suppose that's the really important thing, because sometimes when people, when they think about, those kind of stories as being less stigmatized or more unfortunate because it wasn't their fault, like I think it's perpetuating in a way some of that stigma that people still go.
But it is unfortunate if you've had a car accident or you're having a general operation and you get HIV because the damn stuff's been contaminated. I think unfortunate would be the mildest term you could possibly use, surely.
Yeah, no, I think so too, and it must be desperately upsetting. But I think it's, these are things that did happen in the past, and a lot of the films that have been made have been about that time in the past. And I think we need to move on from that too, and to start talking about contemporary stories. And the contemporary stories of people living with HIV are really positive. People are getting married, they're having babies, they're traveling the world, they're living their lives just like you and I, and they're under the radar. It's like they don't need to come out. And
I'm not living my life, Anna. I'm just
are you not? You're just there
getting through every day, me and my dog, and that's basically, if you believe that, you believe anything. Now let me ask you, Sean, you're a filmmaker. Okay. Films in the past which really were stepping stones to kind of where you are now, do you think they helped? I forgot the damn name, but Philadelphia Story, for example. Not Philadelphia Story. Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia Story. Oh, Christ. Philadelphia. Did things like that help?
Yeah, I think films and stories and narratives and soaps even can help, but if they're handled well and if they're resourced well and if there's good, meaningful consultation. We couldn't have made our film without the whole kind of community in Ireland getting involved and helping us and contributing and investing in what we wanted to do. So I think it can obviously be a big part of the change. Like Anna was saying, like you need stories to be told, but they need to be told well. And with
they do. They do.
Yeah, of course.
And they need to be told in a sort of non-hysterical way, but they also need to be told, and obviously I haven't seen your film, but in an inclusive way, so that people who are not in this community don't think, well, it's nothing to do with me, I don't care. I mean, that's the biggest sort of bear trap, isn't it, to fall into? Were you very conscious of that when you were planning your film?
Yeah, we were. Like we always, and like Robbie, again, the activist that we work very closely with, he's always saying, it's a human issue. It affects all of us in different ways. Obviously some more than others, but it's important that everybody feels like they've got something to hear when they come and see the film. It's not for a niche audience. We don't think everybody is welcome, like Anna was saying.
Everybody should always, you're quite right, Sean. Everybody, first of all, should be welcome. And we're all people. And stuff happens. And it's not for us to, set ourselves up in judgment. I despair when these, I'm going to call them radical groups or twats, if you prefer. I don't care what you call them. And they go, it's God's punishment. Well, first of all, you've got to prove the existence of God, no offense. But the thought that it's a punishment, I mean, what's next? Frogs, locusts and brimstone. It's all bullshit. And it's a horrible way of looking at it. And it's very, very dismissive and superior.
Yeah, and I think, most thinking people know that all of that is a bit of nonsense, I think like the more insidious thing is just that feeling of judgment that people feel, or, the more kind of day-to-day things that happen. So I just think people should just be conscious of, like, you just don't know what's going on in other people's lives. So sometimes somebody might be withholding something and you don't know it about them. And if you have a conversation where you say something negative about HIV, that person you're speaking to, it might affect them. It might affect someone they love. And you're just not aware of it. So it's just about, I suppose, being a bit more conscious of those things. Also educating yourself on the facts around it, because it can happen to anybody.
That's the thing, isn't it?
I mean, if you're sexually active, it can happen to you. And that's why we should be talking about it in schools. Children as young as 14, 15, I think a sexual education that is really open and honest and talks about STDs in general. We're not just talking about HIV, it's all STDs.
Totally. Tell me something. Well, Sean, you're too young. Anna, you're young. But have you ever? Yeah, no, don't go down that road. It's a cul-de-sac going nowhere.
It's Molly Ringwald.
When did you ever use? Have you ever used sines, cosines, logarithms, and tangents and algebra since you left school? No.
Only
that's my case.
taxes, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of maths. But you see, this is something I bang on about, and Neil, who I don't know, he can't join us because he hasn't got the link at the moment, and I can't send it in the middle of an interview. He and I both go on, and that education in schools, it's all skewed wrong. You know, you need basic stuff to be able to deal with life, like a household budget, like health, stuff like that. That's what's important. Sines and
Yeah.
cosines and tangents, logarithms are not important. You're never
Yeah.
going to use them.
It's
Algebra, you're never going to use it.
it's so true. I mean, obviously, you know, there's important stuff that needs to be taught in schools, and people need to learn, you know, history, like
Yes, they do. Of course
the
they do.
relationship between Ireland and the UK and all of that. It would be
How long you
important
got?
to
How long
learn.
you got, Anna?
But at the
It's
same
only an
time,
hour's
yeah,
only an
it's
hour's
like,
show.
you know,
It's only an
we'll
hour's
talk
show.
about that next time.
I don't think we will. I don't think. Do you know, I've never been to Ireland, and I keep promising myself I got to go because it
Come
looks
on.
absolutely gorgeous. It looks fabulous, and I've never been. I've been to Northern Ireland because we were on tour with Westlife, and so we stayed in Belfast with Westlife for a few days, and wow, that was a transformed city. God, I had no idea what to expect. It was extraordinary. They've obviously spent billions in there, and people were lovely. But I've never been to Ireland, you know, era, and that's something that I do plan to try and put right over the next
Yeah.
few years, but not this afternoon because I've got
Come and
plans.
see it.
All right, listen. I wish you, Sean. I wish you all. First of all, I hope you get out the fridge because it could be quite dangerous. Secondly, I hope you get out the lift. But most importantly, well done on doing this.
Thank
That
you.
sounds so freaking patronizing. I didn't mean that. I mean, well done on doing it. You know, you made a full-length feature film. To just do that is fantastic. To doing on something which is important, you know, and not some bullshit superhero nonsense is great. Well done, the pair of you. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope it all goes really, really well and splendidly. Anna Rogers, Sean Dunn, How to Tell a Secret.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Now there she goes. Now I got a difficult thing to do. God knows how I'm going to do this. I got to get Neil Long, who's sitting there. I don't know how the hell to do it. I'm gonna try. Right, how do I do this? I have absolute. I hope you're still there. Don't know. I'll try. This isn't going to work at all. This is what happens when communication goes down the toilet. No, I can't do this. Absolutely can't do this. Don't save. I'm not doing any of this nonsense. Oh God! Quick mail, and I've lost the show. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! You have got to be kidding me. Oh well, I've no idea how to do this. Don't know. David Wimble. David Wimble. Afternoon Old Bean. Yeah, afternoon. I'm sure, Neil, that I sent it to you. I'm convinced. Please check your emails. I can't send it again. Quite impossible. Cannot do it. He is. And then Jerry Perry. Jerry Perry. It sounds like a champagne cocktail. Would you like a drink? Oh, thank you. I'll have a Jerry Perry. Jerry Perry, PR goddess, says, thanks, Anna and Sean. It's an important film. Looking forward to seeing it this week. No, I can't. How can I send the link? I can't send links. I don't know how to do this. It's not possible in the middle of a show. Neil, don't know. If I could put it up on screen, believe me, I would, but I can't, and it's getting me annoyed. Don't know how to do this. Can't copy it either. All right, copy it. So it's copied. All right, there we go. Try and post as a comment. No, try and put it as a banner. I wonder if that will work. That might work. What do you think? Put it as a banner? Isn't this exciting? I'm dying of boredom. Just trying to sort this nonsense out. Create banner. No, can't do it. Don't know. Right. Okie dokes. Ooh, I am one with the universe. Neil, if you don't get stuff sooner, let me know by like what we call a phone call. That would probably help. Elizabeth Green, commiserate. It's not that I'm not king of techie. I could do this if I get my other computer, but I'm not doing it on this computer. Then you got to watch me doing the other computer. Who the hell wants to see that? Nobody. Certainly not me. I'm going to the cinema this evening. I don't know what I'm going to see. It's one of those things where somebody is captured and you don't know who it is. I'm going with Chantal. What we call in the trade a screening. Right, give me a sec. I don't know if I can do this. Give me a sec. All right, give me a second. See if I can do this nonsense. Right, you got a fabulous view. Here's me. There we are. Right, so you got a great view. You can hear me. All right, chat amongst yourselves. I want to get Neil on. Right, I want to get Neil in. So give me a sec. All right, just give me a second here. Won't take you a moment. Chat amongst yourselves. I think it's going to go very, very well. Personally, I think this is going very smoothly. It's real radio. I don't care. We're live. We're happening, right? We're happening. So, right. Invite guests. Copy. Jesus. Come on. Jean-Michel Jarre here, folks. Right. Here we go. New email. Right. Do that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Boom. No, that's to my old school friend. Jesus Christ. Right. Neil. Right, Neil, off you go. Finished. Was that silky smooth? I don't care. We want Neil. Shut up, Julie voice in Houston. Otherwise, when I come and see my son in Austin, Texas, I'll come and drive you mad. I'll serve you right. I'll just turn up on your doorstep. Right, Liz Saul. So, Neil, read your emails. You've got it. At least it's not dead air. I'd never do dead air. I just do it. I don't care. You know, we're doing our best. What the hell? Liz Saul says, oh, my God, here he comes. Liz Saul, I find it interesting that issues such as where HIV is at these days flash up when films like Sean's are highlighted, but the reality is that it never goes away. Well, no, I got something to say on that. There he is.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody. I've been sitting here pouring at the screen trying to get in.
Yes. Oh, bless you, Martin Allen. This was the guy who sent that incredible video to me. And I asked permission, before you think I don't, I asked Martin's permission if it could go public or if it was just to me. He granted permission. And the reaction has been stratospheric. Martin, thank you so much. What you said was fantastic. David Wimble, you're describing your life. It's like watching a train crash, horrific but strangely compelling. That's how I felt when I had dinner with you, to be honest. Yeah, same thing. And it's like, did you break it, Neil?
No, I did not break it.
You broke it, didn't you? I got to think here. Let me ask you this. You saw the interview, and I thought young Sean was getting a bit twitchy, actually. And Anna was cool. And I thought, I don't know, maybe it was my imagination. Yeah, David. Yeah, giving it back. I thought Sean was, he was getting maybe twitchy. Maybe I'm wrong. Here's the thing. And I'm really going out on a limb. I am walking straight into a minefield here. Okay, I'm being honest about it. HIV, with the exception of when blood transfusions go wrong, sounds like a Simon Withington show on Channel 5, but with that exception, if you're careful, hopefully you could avoid it. You can't avoid it if you've got contaminated blood, quite impossible. All right, you're not to know. You know, you have an accident in the car. You with me, Neil, or not? Am I going?
So far, yeah.
All right. But if you're careful and wear condoms, etc., if you're in the gay community, it should be that you're going to be okay. So for 25 years, ever since the late Mike Smith was doing all that stuff, and we were all told we were going to die of AIDS, you know, which seemed like hysterical to me. If you were careful, you didn't get it. Do you think that attitude is why there's still resistance? Like you've been told for 25 years, be careful.
I think for me personally, when the AIDS pandemic happened, I was neither gay or in the haemophiliac community, right? So it didn't affect me as much. I was really the observer of it. It was horrific to watch. And of course, we all hoped for a cure, or at least drugs that would, it's retroactive drugs, I think, the last time I was updated on it. But for me, it's kind of gone out of my consciousness a bit. I know it's still there, but I kind of don't think about it that much at the moment. But to answer your question, yes, the education is there. But like the lovely lady said on your interview, you know,
we're allowed to say that in 2022, the lovely lady? I don't know. Who knows?
I think so. I think so.
Well, she was very charming.
Like the charming lady said on the interview, you know, we can be a bit impetuous at times and we can make mistakes, but I certainly don't think
of course we can.
We're
all human.
Certainly don't think that stigma should be there. I love the fact that people are catching up. Like they say, Ireland's caught up. You know, we're not living in the past anymore as much, which is absolutely fantastic. And what I didn't know, which was great to learn from the interview today, that I knew it was possible to live a normal life with the drugs that you're given. What I didn't know was that you can be stopped passing it on to anyone else, even if you're positive.
No, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. So I
had no idea. Yeah. All right. Here's a long comment from Leslie Demesa. Huge comment. I'm going to put it up, so we're going to disappear. But I'm going to Neil, read it out. Be so kind for everybody in Deluxe.
HIV, not just the gay community wearing condoms. As this is one of my specialisms, I'd be happy to talk about it next time I'm on. This morning I opened the garage, a shelf had collapsed, a small chest, not mine, obviously, full of nails and screws, had scattered its contents all over the floor. An hour spent sweeping, hope against hope I got them all because I don't want punctured tyres. In an effort to cheer myself up, I went out and bought myself a black leather aviator.
Dirty cow. That's what we say. We like it. I'm going to be around there. I'm going to go to Stanmore in about 20 minutes. I'm going. Black leather. We never found out what it was.
No, it begins with AV. I thought
I'm going to go with aviator jacket, black leather aviator jacket. Everybody play the Leslie Demesa What Did She Buy game, ladies and gentlemen. What did Leslie Demesa buy? All we know is black and it's leather. I was right. Aviator jacket.
Stop the clock. But yeah, as Dave says quite correctly, that the stats of those living with HIV, heterosexual and gay, are almost equal, and I think that's really important to know. It's not good to dismiss it as just a gay thing. It's not.
Stephen Marsh almost won our competition with black leather avian flu. So close. Never mind, you've still got a blankety blank.
Because you can contract HIV from heterosexual.
Still funny, that show. What we got here? What we got?
So you can contract HIV from heterosexual sex, of course.
Yeah, of course you can. Can you? How's that work? How's that work then? No, how does it work then?
When the same way as any other kind of sex.
No, I know how sex. I know, Uncle Neil, how sex works.
What do you mean? How does it work?
Well, why would you suddenly get it?
If you have unprotected sex with someone that's HIV positive.
Oh, precisely. That's my point. But it doesn't come out
man or woman.
Seriously, I'd be happy to talk about HIV, heterosexual, gay. I've drug used. Well, that's because you've got a black leather jacket. You're like Fonzie. You're the Arthur Fonzarelli of Stanmore now. Neil, you're a clever man. Oh, you haven't got to read. How do we get? I want Leslie to jump on. She'll jump on. I don't know.
I'll send her the link on Facebook.
Yeah, do it now. Could you do that?
I'm doing it now.
Right.
Yes, sir.
IV drug use. You're on fire today. By the way, Leslie, you really do, joking aside, need to get all of those screws, every damn one of them. It's a pain. Roll your car out very slowly and sweep that garage to within an inch of its life, because those little suckers get in your tires, and the next thing you know, you got a puncture. How's everything with you, Neil boy?
Yeah, not too bad thing. I'm just looking for Leslie on Facebook, and I don't think we're friends.
No, she's never liked you.
Very jealous. Not on Facebook.
Very jealous. By the way, on Friday, Phil Dave is going to be in South Africa attending a wedding representing the Dave family. Seriously. And so joining me as my lovely co-host will be Leslie Demesa. which is always
Super.
a treat.
And I've sent the link through, Leslie.
Right, Leslie, if you look on, go
by
on.
email.
Yes. So have a look, see if you can, and that you're very welcome. Jump on and talk about it, because we've got 15 minutes, and I think it's a kind of important.
It's really good that it's been brought into art awareness again, hasn't it? Because I think I think we're all kind of follow the news agenda. When something goes out the news, there's a bit of a perception it doesn't exist anymore, which is
Well, you
true
think, oh,
unless
it's all
you're
over.
involved
Well,
in it in some way.
You think, oh, well, it's been solved.
Yeah,
Don't
COVID.
You go through life,
for
you go,
example.
well, that's a miracle. It's been solved.
Yeah,
What was the
and
problem?
of course it's not, and it's good to be reminded. But I'm so happy it's moved on, both with what people think about it and their attitudes, and of course with the treatment.
I'm more happy about how the treatment's working. You know, if you can't stop people doing stuff, right? Putting it out there, if you can't stop people doing stuff, despite 25 years of saying don't do this, then at least, amazingly, they've got I'm not saying a cure, but it's much better. Shame they can't do it with cancer, isn't it?
Yes.
What a shame.
Yes, indeed.
You know, because it's not a choice. Cancer.
There's a wonderful piece of work by someone called Ty Bollinger. I'd love to get him on the show. And his family sadly was virtually wiped out by cancer, but he made it his kind of raison d'etre to tour the world and look for every single, if you like, alternative treatment. And his whole body of work is called The Truth About Cancer, and it goes into everything in so much detail about all the stuff we've kind of half heard about, but haven't really had the meat put on the bone about it. It's a very good piece of work, actually. Very good.
The problem with it is, and I'm going to be...
There's more to cancer than burn it, poison it, or cut it. Let's put it that way.
Here she is. I knew she'd join on. I'm so pleased. I'm probably going to get a right bollocking now. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Leslie, I've spilled my shelf Mesa.
I'm really sorry it took me a while. Neil's email link only just came through. I was trying.
Bless you, Neil, for doing it. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Neil. And I've missed a lot of the show because I was actually out in the car. Yes, I did sweep the garage, just keeping fingers crossed. That's why it took me an hour to sweep the garage.
Yeah,
what do you want to know? What do you want to know about
aside,
HIV?
let's just come back to the garage, then we'll come on to why you're here, right? Is that garage, it's not a casual suit. You've really
I cannot, an hour sweeping.
Because those little suckers,
I know.
And you're screwed. And it's always at the most inconvenient place. Never happens in the garage. It's like, never happens when you're in Quick Fit or anything.
Oh, should I?
No.
Should I go
there we are. That's lovely. That's very lovely. And we can see your charming flowers.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Educate us about. No, that's fine. That'll do.
Is it?
Stop it. I'm getting motion sickness. I'm getting motion sickness.
Okay.
Right. So educate me and Neil. Come on.
What do you want answers to?
HIV.
Yeah, but what about it?
All right. Okay. Well,
okay.
Let's just start. How prevalent is it? And if you wear protection, are you? I'm not talking about blood transfusions, which are contaminated, which are a nightmare. So I had to deal with some of that when I was working for the Department of Health. Talk us through the rest of it.
Well, first of all, a condom is only as safe as the person using it. Has to be used properly. Has to be put on as soon as there is an erect penis. It's no good having an erection and not putting the condom on immediately because as a penis gains an erection, fluid comes out of the penis, not necessarily semen, but certainly lubricating fluid, which would carry the virus if the virus is present. Now, most people have no idea they're HIV positive because there's very few symptoms. I know we think back, as you said, to Mike Smith and the iceberg and all the rest of it, but there are very few symptoms, which is why so many people had it for so long. Testing now is easy, so easy. Sexual health clinic, all sorts of different tests available, can get same-day results, so that's no problem. Most people who have sex actually don't think twice about it, if we're honest. The condom is really important. It has to be put on properly, has to be removed after intercourse. No good lying next to somebody who's not wearing a condom, just the same way you wouldn't for contraception. You have to use it properly. And I'm going to be honest, I think they're revolting. I hate the damn things. But if you're going to have sex and you don't, you don't know your partner's status, then they're necessitous. They are the only way you can prevent HIV spreading if you're having intercourse without knowing your partner is HIV positive.
Correct. Elizabeth Green in Manhattan, just reading it out for our deluxe radio listeners. Here in USA, every time I go to the doctor, they insist on an HIV test. Wow.
Well,
not over here, they don't.
No, and your GP wouldn't normally do it anyway. It's normally in a sexual health clinic because they're set up for it and they've got all the testing equipment and so on. It's a bit intrusive to insist on it every time you go to the doctor.
Well, that's
really
America
weird.
for you. They're all mad.
Yeah.
Basically.
What else can I tell you about it?
Did you think? I'm going to be controversial. What a change! When it all started, and suddenly according to the media, the entire world was going to die because of AIDS. The whole world was going to die. That's the way it was portrayed. You'd walk down the street, you'd get AIDS. Do you think it was an overreaction?
No,
you don't.
100% not. You're talking about the media. I was working with HIV before all the iceberg adverts and all the rest of it. I was actually working with Terence Higgins Trust at that stage, and we were working out how to prevent rather than cure, what messages could be got out there. We were talking about targeting before the government and the PR companies did, because it was very specific to certain groups at that stage.
At that stage, yeah.
I was really thrilled when the programming became, I suppose, more easily clarified, when people talked about what you needed to do to transmit HIV, and as opposed to, just euphemisms. At least we were talking more honestly. And bye-bye, Russ.
He says he'll be right back. Just you and me for a moment, Leslie.
It's an interesting thing because, sorry, Neil, my arm is aching because I'm actually having to hold.
That's okay.
I'm back.
Leslie is just.
And we'll never know. I think she's overexcited by sweeping the garage and buying a black leather aviator jacket.
Do you remember that advert? It was for a safe sex. It was the Keep Mrs. Dawson Busy advert. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
It was a lady that worked in a condom factory, and it said, and all she would do all day is put condoms on these things ready for them to be packed. And the advert said, "Keep Mrs. Dawson busy." Do you not remember that?
No,
I do.
Now, what's happened to Leslie? We've got a fabulous view of her ceiling.
She's frozen. Now
she's moving about. She's looking miserable. What a show. It's like, speak to me, Leslie. We want to hear you. No, I'm going to take her. Reboot it. Hang on. What are we going? There we go.
Come out and come back in again.
You've muted your mic. That's why.
Leslie, don't do that with your camera.
Oh, for God's sake. We're on Pornhub. It's fantastic. New revenue stream for you, Howard and Penny. Yeah, Pornhub. Right. Leslie, you've muted your microphone. You've muted it. I can see. So I have no idea.
There
you go.
It's sad, isn't it? It's because I'm doing this one-handed, which, let's face it, is unusual for me. Nothing. Say nothing.
Don't even. It's all the
darling.
There.
It's all the screws in the garage.
You've been screwing. Do you know why I love doing this?
I can only apologise.
Can I tell you? Do you know why I love doing this? Because we go from something so intense and serious, and just ask about.
Double entendre.
I love it.
If you want to, we could do a program where we talk about it for half an hour. Let me know.
Okie dokie. That will be at the moment, and seriously, because we are that booked up with guests, with jammed up. But I mean, like in the new year in January, that would be good. I'd like that. How do you react? And I'm putting it out there. I'm not saying I'm saying it. I'm saying, how do you react when people say, well, it's a gay plague?
No.
But it's a common phrase that you hear a lot, isn't it?
Well,
No,
I don't
not
hear
true.
it. Maybe because the people I speak to are more intelligent than that.
Not
How
talking
do I
about my
react?
friends. I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
no.
when you look on the media and you look the way,
I
especially in America.
I don't. Where did you say? Sorry.
Especially in America.
Well, I don't give a toss about the Americans. There you go. They don't speak the truth about so much, and they get hysterical about.
My daughter was born in America, so just be very careful.
Yeah, but your daughter is also a very sensible, intelligent woman,
Yes, she is.
as are many of the Americans. However, how do I feel? I'm furious when I hear it because it's not the truth, and it's I mean, for a long time, we had lots of education, continuing education about HIV. Now that the medication has got better,
Yeah.
and indeed people who had a high viral load have wiped that viral load out and are perfectly healthy. They may be HIV positive, but they don't have enough of the virus to transmit it. Now that all that's happening, people think it's gone away, and it hasn't. And we cannot take our focus off it. We have financially, government isn't
And a little thing called COVID, which destroyed our lives for several years.
But you know what? The HIV was part of the education curriculum when I was still working in education. It's now very much a backseat. There's a bit there about it, but it's nothing is as crucial as it was. Well, nothing is thought of as crucial as it used to be, and it needs to be back on the agenda for everybody. I mean, you were talking about blood transfusions. I know you don't want to go there, but blood is always tested. I used to be a blood donor until they asked me to stop. We won't go into why.
You're here more often than Tony Hancock.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, much more often, from the age of 17 until about 3 years ago.
Why did they tell you not to come?
Because I have an autoimmune condition now, which means same as Lloyd, can't give blood, not allowed to.
Oh wow!
If you're
you ever given blood, Neil? I've never have. To be honest.
Have I received blood or given it?
Have you ever given blood?
No. I would.
Nor me. Yeah.
It's an easy process, but I'm not.
You feel tired afterwards?
No, never. I never have. Men have. Forgive me, very sexist comment. The only people I ever saw pass out when I was donating were men. And I don't know what it is. I'm not sure.
We're too busy. We're busy, and we're thinking about other things.
It's nothing to do with that, because they don't.
I don't know what it is. I'm just trying to defend men.
Because you're babies.
The level of evolution in the virus, says Dave Sleet, up in 5, seems to have been so well contained that management is so much easier than most other viruses. And Liz Saul, your pal, says I can't give blood either.
There you go.
It's a New Malden thing. I don't think they take blood from anyone in New Malden.
I was going to say, I'm not in New Malden. I have
not
been
you.
there. Maybe,
no, not you, Neil and Liz Saul. It's a New Malden
I
thing.
passed through New Malden. That's possibly why.
That's the best thing to do.
I think so.
Just what's the best view of New Malden? In your rear view mirror. Boom. Thank you. I'm here all week. Thank you very much.
This one.
Don't forget to try the chicken. So, right. Here we go. I've been put in my place. Oi, I'm not from New Malden. I was born in Camden.
North of the river. Exactly.
I wouldn't boast.
Yeah, blue northerners.
Boast about Camden. My office was in Camden. What does this say? I can't. I've had hepatitis.
There you go.
Green. Oh, right. So if you've got some past sort of virus like that, you can't give blood. Is that the deal? Yeah. Okie dokie. All right. Okay. It's interesting, though, isn't it, that even in 2022, both those filmmakers, who I like very much, actually, thought they were charming and on the point, said there's still a stigma that people won't go to the cinema to see it.
I missed all that bit of the show, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, they've made a film. They've made a film called How to Keep a Secret, and it's about HIV. And living with it and coming out about it and blah, blah, blah. And it's an Irish film funded by the That was basically the deal.
Things always come from ignorance, don't they? That's why people say it's a punishment from the universe and all that crap as well. Which
they do. It's this is very sweet from Manhattan. Can I just say this is the best wake-up call on the planet? You're very, very, very kind. Today especially. Okay. All right. Well, that's
whatever
nice.
you do, listeners, keep Mrs. Dawson busy. If you've seen that advert, you'll know what I mean.
I've never seen that. Do you remember that, Mrs. Dawson? Are you not making this up? Did you have a dream about it?
I'm going to have a quick look on YouTube now just to make sure.
What Neil is saying, there was an advert. Mrs. Dawson, Leslie's missus, obviously, worked in a condom factory.
I remember it.
I don't remember it at all.
I remember
Maybe
it.
I tuned out.
And
this is so sweet. Thank you, Julie Voice in Houston, Texas.
Here we go.
Thank you.
I've just seen it. It's on YouTube.
Is it? Okay.
I remember.
If we had any technical ability, we'd be able to show it, but none of us.
I visited that factory.
Oh, we got to go. I said, do you know, it's like talking with wonderful people, and it's like having like the best sort of coffee morning, and then suddenly the time's up. It's been great. Neil, have a wonderful rest of the week and lovely weekend. Leslie Demisa, we will see you on Friday. My thanks to everybody, and thank you all over the world for tuning in. Slightly chaotic today, but hey, what do you want? Go sue me. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Good afternoon.